All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to CAGcast number 798. I'm your host, GVD, here in Long Island, New York. And as always, we're joined by a man who's also about to announce he's raising prices, Wombat.
My prices are insane.
Dude, you know what's insane?
What's insane?
How thin your head is now.
That almost sounds like an insult.
It's not, but I just looked at your head when you looked up, and it's like 3/4 the size of the previous head, I would say. Would you say it's accurate?
Thank you. I don't know. Is it?
I mean, that's a compliment, I guess, but it's just
have
like
you measured your head lately?
I probably should. I don't know. I will say that in between this show and our last show, I did a full clean shave of my face, and I had no beard for I guess 4 days. Really, let's be honest. It kind of just pops right back out like
Right.
Homer Simpson, but it was the most downvoted thing that has ever happened in the history of my house. Was me shaving my face for one day.
Too thin. It was too thin.
It was. Everyone hated it. I look too weird. I don't look right with that. With my face looks weird. So I'll say we'll say too thin. That's the reason why.
Congratulations.
Everyone hated it. So I can't shave ever again.
Ever.
I got to go full ZZ Top to make everyone happy.
I see the light show is still happening in your backyard.
Yeah, that's gonna happen all.
The neighbors don't mind the light show?
The neighbors are.
The neighbors are close to that light show.
They can't see it. No, it's below the fence. No one sees it.
It's got to reflect.
No, not really.
They've got to know something's going on.
Yeah, no one. I will say this. Since we've done this last show, I actually do have brand new next door neighbors.
Oh.
Because of the lights?
Yes, because of the lights. No, the old people that live there, they sold the house, moved away, and now there's new people in the house. I think I spoke to them twice. So far, so good.
Oh.
They ripped up every bush and tree in the front yard already. Not mine, theirs. That would be funny. But yeah, I was like, oh, all right, new people. Nice to meet you.
They're probably putting something else in there, right?
We'll find out.
You may have to contact your local tree commissioner.
Exactly.
Alternate.
I don't think. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Very interesting stuff. That's the excitement of my life. You guys talk about things. I have nothing.
Nice.
I got nothing.
Mrs. Cheapy and I celebrated our 20th wedding anniversary.
Congratulations.
While we were on break. That was part of one of the reasons why we didn't do a show 1 week. One of the many reasons. So that's a long time. And we stayed at this. I just did whatever Mrs. Cheapy said she wanted to do for the anniversary, which was
the 20 years.
Which was what?
Explains the 20 years.
Right. Yeah. I keep it simple, Plus, she has good ideas, and I have no ideas, so it's perfect. She wanted to stay at this fancy hotel in Manhattan, and they have a Japanese restaurant there that's supposed to be very good, and you can only eat there if you stay at the hotel. And the hotel is called the Aman Hotel. It's like some part of some Asian chain. They're trying to basically make like an Asian resort in the middle of the city. It's ridiculously expensive. It's crazy expensive, but I didn't have to pay a dime because of Amex points. When Mrs. Cheapy told me, she told me specifically she wanted to stay there. And when I looked up the price of the room, like the cheapest room, I was like, I didn't know they went that high just for like a room that's not at like a resort somewhere. It's just at a hotel. But Amex has something with them where they points, so I didn't have to pay anything. But it's a super fancy, luxury hotel, but like everything went wrong. Like that could have gone like,
oh no,
comically, but nothing ruined our experience, but it was like laughably bad things. Like when we first got there, the room wasn't ready, even though it was like 3:00 in the afternoon. It was well over an hour we waited for the room to be ready, and it was like hot and everything, whatever. It was fair. And they offered us, free drinks and everything. They were very nice about it and all that stuff.
I was gonna say, I guarantee they offered you drinks.
They did eventually, right? Yeah. And they're very apologetic and very, everyone's very apologetic and people coming over to whatever. But at the end of the day, the drinks were not comped. Nothing was comped. The room was like 2 hours late. The room at one point, Mrs. Chibi's like, what's that sound? So I got to turn that off. She's like, what's that sound? She's like, you leave the shower running? And I'm like, no, everything. I didn't even turn it on. The sprinkler, like the fire sprinkler in the ceiling, is just water just coming out. Like, easily our luggage could have been there and just been, just soaked. At least it was just water and not like, duty water. What else?
Did you call down and say, hey, there's a leak?
Oh yeah, they fixed it. Of course, while we were at dinner, they fixed it. The dinner was just like sort of okay. Like, we've eaten at a lot of good Japanese restaurants, and this is just like another
good Japanese restaurant.
Yeah, but nothing like fancy. Nothing like special about it, in my opinion. The person we were dealing with told they have like a famous jazz club downstairs. And the person who was helping us while all our shit was getting fucked up, they gave us a tour while we were waiting for the room to be ready. And that guy was like super nice the guy was from Long Island, super nice. Told us he was going to make us a reservation at the jazz club. We go down to the jazz club, no reservation for us. I mean, they had a space for us because it was like Wednesday night, but. Again, just like another thing that didn't ruin anything, but it's just like, that's, okay. Yeah, I mean, when I was checking out, when we were leaving, I was in the hotel, I was in the elevator by myself and another guy who also had his luggage. And it was just me and him in the elevator. And he turns to me and he goes, well, what'd you think? And I it was too slow answering. And he goes, oh, you too. And I was like, yeah. He's like, and the guy goes to tell me, he's like, I've traveled all over, stayed at like the nicest places, or just like nice. He didn't say the nicest places. He wasn't like a snobby about it. He was just like, I've stayed at a lot of nice places, like in Asia especially, and all over. And he's like, this place is just not like up for it yet. They're just not. I think they only opened like 6 months ago or something. Anyway, we still had a great time. We had a view of Fifth Avenue and 57th Street. And so like a view of Trump Tower directly out of the hotel, of our hotel room window. There was a guy dressed up as Donald Trump with suit, like rubber face mask. It was so hot and disgusting out. He was not standing on the sidewalk, but standing in the middle of the street, directing traffic, but as Donald Trump. So he would point at a taxi cab and give him the thumbs up and pull this way and that way, point at people walking by. But he's not like a police guy directing traffic. He's just a guy, and there's fucking buses going by. Like he's in danger of causing an accident or being run over. And he's just trying to get people to take pictures with him for money.
Yes.
Right? Because Trump Tower is right there. Tourists are coming by. They want to get their picture taken in front of Trump Tower. I was spending time watching this guy try to the tourists would take a picture with him. They would give him money. You see, it wasn't enough money. He was trying to get more money, and they didn't want to give him any more money, and he'd get frustrated, move on to the next guy, go walk in traffic again. It was very interesting to watch. And also interesting to watch, there's always two police right in front of Trump Tower. Just two guys, just in case anything goes down. But they're mostly there just to take pictures with the tourists. But in a lot of cases, the tourists, I would never have the balls to do this. The tourists hand the camera to the cop. And it's just the tourist standing in front of Trump Tower. And the cop is now taking the picture of the two tourists. And there's no cops in the picture. That I feel, I don't know, man. That I was just like, oh my God, what's going on? These cops are now just taking photos? They're supposed to be guarding this building. Anyway, we had a good time. I got laid. Of course. And I'm trying to think. I think there was one other weird thing that happened, but it was fine. It was all good. We also, to celebrate our 30th anniversary on that Saturday.
30th? Wow.
20th. We will been together for, no, that's only 24. We went to see John Summit at Madison Square Garden. He's a famous DJ, super famous DJ producer. You guys don't know who he is.
He pushed a button.
He didn't push. He did push a lot of buttons that night.
More than one button.
He
He
writes.
had to push start and stop. So at least 2.
The guys who make the best living doing this are the guys that write and produce their own songs, because then they can tour and play their own songs. People want to, especially if the songs become hits. It makes sense, right?
What's his hit?
He has so many. He has a lot.
H-O-T-T-O-G-O.
His last on the last 2. No. The last 2 Obama's favorite songs lists of the last 2 years in a row. One of his songs was on the list.
You can't name it though.
I can name it. It's not. You're not going to know. Shiver. This is like one of his newer ones. He's got a lot. Human.
Have you ever heard "Shake It Off"? That's one of his.
No.
I was gonna say Shiver. That's awfully close to a Taylor Swift song.
It's not a Taylor Swift song, and doesn't sound like a Taylor Swift song. They're like tech house songs. It's not your type of music. Whatever. It was a great show. He sold out the show in an hour. And I actually got like secondhand seats because I thought that I might be too old to go. It's very interesting to see, like when I was dating Mrs. Chibi, we used to go to shows like this, and the only way you could see DJs like this was to go to a club, like a small club in New York City where you wait online outside for like an hour, and shitty people are like shooting heroin in the bathroom or fucking or both, like. And to come now, 2024. You go to Madison Square Garden, there's families there. There's people are actually just urinating in the bathroom. They're not, it's not scary. You're not in the bathroom going like, oh my God, I'm so glad I'm so incredibly high right now, because otherwise I wouldn't be able to handle being in the bathroom right now. It was cool to see. It was cool to see that this stuff has become mainstream and comfortable. Like it was like a very comfortable experience. And that's what we've been up to. I'd recommend it. He should come back. Billy Joel has just ended his Madison Square Garden run, Wombat, and I think John Summit should come take over. No.
I haven't been to a concert in such a long time. I am going to a concert in October. That's going to be my next concert.
Which one is that?
I'm going to see Toad the Wet Sprocket and the Bare Naked Ladies.
Where's that?
Live at the Tillis Center.
So
I don't have to travel far, and I don't have to worry about parking.
Right.
It's pretty much the
the
only
show
way.
Or being too old.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's the show for old Jews, is what I was going to say.
Mm-hmm. It's perfect for me. It's got all the things I want.
There were a lot of young people there. And, there were some olds at the John Summit show, but it was mostly young people. But
did Bare Naked Ladies, did they reunite? Like they got into a falling out?
No, Stephen Page isn't still not in the band.
So it's only one.
He's dressed.
Yeah, it's just, but it is everybody else. Yeah, Ed and the rest.
Just not the guy that like sang half their hits.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly.
So do they only play half their hits?
They only play half their. I think Ed kind of sings everything. We did see them once without Stephen Page already, and it was good. It's not the same. I mean, we saw them a lot when they were together. Speaking of back when dating 20 years ago, because it's my 20th in September. So yeah, we used to. Bare Naked Ladies is my wife's favorite band, so we saw them a lot back in the day.
They're not going to have probably the same laser light show and pyrotechnics that John Summit
I don't
had.
think so. No, I don't think so. But that's okay.
Yeah, he said he lost $1 million doing the show.
Did he look under the couch cushions?
That was before the show actually happened, I think. I don't know. It's promotion for his album, I guess. Anyway, what else is going on? Oh, I know Ship went away.
Yeah, we did a road trip down to Colonial Williamsburg in Virginia.
I've done that.
You drove there. That's a long drive.
We did drive there. We got we did it in two stints.
Okay.
Like we stopped in Charlottesville. That's a place, right?
Mm-hmm.
We stopped in Charlottesville on the way down and went to we walked around University of Virginia while we were there, and then went to King's Dominion, which is an amusement park based upon the one in Cincinnati. Essentially, it's made by the same people, just a few years later.
There.
Yes. So that was all right. And then we stayed in an old house in Colonial Williamsburg, one of the ones right there in Colonial Williamsburg, I guess.
You can do that? That's a thing?
Yeah. That's the thing. Like they're all like.
Do you have to work there when you do that? Like if somebody comes by and knocks on your door, you have to pretend.
Did you churn any butter?
Of course. We did not churn any butter. We painted some wheelbarrows. Wheelbarrows?
Wheelbarrow.
We did some of that. We the kids like inspected some tobacco plants to make sure those were good.
Nice.
All the fun Colonial Williamsburg stuff to do when it's
Did you do that
98
thing with
degrees out.
Did you do the thing where you died and melted?
Yeah. The thing with the hoop and the stick where you...
We passed on that because it was 98 degrees out.
Hey, I think you did it at Old Bethpage on Long Island.
Yeah, we've done it. We've seen it many times. And
we got a good circle and stick here, you know.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah. The kids decided that they didn't need to do that right then. But no, it was a good time. And then
those kids will never be anything in life now. Now you know.
Right. And we did make it most of the way down without a kid puking, which was pretty good.
That's pretty impressive.
We got about an hour out, and then yes, the dam broke.
Oh, in the car?
Yeah, in the car.
Oh, it's from the car? From like the car travel?
Yeah. It's too much iPad and Switch and trying to do that for like 8 hours. And then like, I don't know if you know this, but there's not a straight road in West Virginia.
I don't know that.
Okay. So they can't make any road straight in West Virginia because of all the mountains. Like
sure.
When are they going to get rid
down,
of this,
left, right?
all of these DEI politics in West Virginia?
Mm-hmm.
And get some straight roads.
Wah, wah.
So no, it was a good time. We went to Busch Gardens, Williamsburg. That's a fantastic amusement park. There's a ride there, and I sent GP. I know you watched the video of this. It's formerly called Intimidator 305, based upon Dale Earnhardt Jr. It was all Dale Earnhardt Jr. themed, and it's been that for like 20 years. But then apparently, I think they lost the license. Like the family didn't want to like deal with the license or something. I don't know. They lost the license. So now it's just called Project 305. And it's so weird because this is like the biggest coaster in this place. And there's like no merchandise that you can buy for it. Like there's no t-shirts.
Right.
Everything is just like completely ignoring this thing because they lost the licensing rights and they probably weren't planning for it.
But why not just print up some Project 305 t-shirts?
I don't know. It's a great question.
Time.
So I've ridden a lot of roller coasters in my time, and this one, like, there's signs that are like up there's like this extremely high G's, like make sure that you are healthy and like don't have any like heart conditions or anything.
But
like,
you see that a lot, I guess, don't you?
You see that a lot. But this was like the only sign. Like it was like really big, like as you're getting on, which at that point you're like, all right, I'm getting on. He goes. So we both like you go down this hill and you're going 95 miles an hour, right? Down this hill. That's 305 feet high. That's the name. And then whoever designed this decided that immediately at the bottom of the hill, you should take a sharp right and continue turning right for like basically a clover leaf, right? Like, so you're going like 270 degrees in a tight turn at 95. Yes, very fast. And so that's the part where you start to either gray out or black out because there are too many G's. And that is the first time that has ever happened to me on a roller coaster. And
wow.
I will say you get a little nervous when all of a sudden your vision starts going and you're like, my peripheral vision is just like gone and everything's like purplish.
Yeah.
And like, I didn't want to like scare my daughter or anything because she was riding with me. Like my wife wouldn't ride it.
She noped out of that one.
She noped out of it.
Wait, your daughter went with you, but not your wife?
Yeah. Yeah.
Did she like
really into roller coasters? She has like no
didn't
fear.
go though.
He's not tall enough for it.
Not tall. No tall. I could have said that.
Yeah. But like we got off of it. And I'm like,
tall.
how'd you like it? She's like, I liked it all right. But there was like this weird part of it, like where everything turned purple. And I'm like, yes, it's not because I'm old. It's just because
there's a weird part where I forgot my birthday.
That's by design.
Right. Well, it's not, it's sort of by design, because I had to look it up, right? Like I'm like, is this happening to everybody? And like, yeah, they're like, it's all over the place. And the first year it was even worse because it had an even tighter turn. And so they like everybody was just like blacking out like around the first turn, and they had to fix it. It's just like, what? Did we not think this through? Like you drop people down at 100 miles an hour and then immediately go right. Like, but it was a good time. And then on the way back, we stopped in Roanoke, Virginia.
Yeah.
And they have a Roanoke pinball, I don't know, I'm going to say the Hall of Fame museum, something. Roanoke, as well as an arcade too, in the same building. And so it's just like you pay and then you play for as long as you want. And there's like, I would say there's probably like 80 to 100 pinball tables in a room.
That's a lot.
It was solid. Yes.
Did you pass out in there too?
I did not pass out in there. I did introduce my daughter to Dance Dance Revolution in the arcade though, and got a little sweaty.
Nice.
Playing some Dance Dance Revolution and Guitar Hero, the arcade version. But it's good.
Shit.
Good trip. No puking on the way back. That was good.
Nice. Yeah, they were strengthened by the roller coasters, probably.
Right.
I don't know. I did that. What's the one? The ship ride, the pirate ship that goes back and forth. Pirate ship,
right?
Pirate ship.
Yeah,
or
I
Viking
almost
ship.
vomited the last time I did that, and I felt so shitty afterwards.
What this
At
has gotta
Adventureland.
be, yeah, it's got to be about 3. That's gone now, by the way. A few years ago at Adventureland, I'm there with Elliot, and we were like there at the end, and we're on the pirate ship, and there was no line, so the guy just wasn't paying attention, so he just didn't turn it off, and we were on it for like 10 minutes. I'm not making this up.
I would have passed out for sure.
And the thing is,
Blech.
it wasn't even so much the ride as much as it was the woman sitting across from us that wouldn't stop screaming as loud as possible.
That's what you're supposed to do in that ride.
Oh, it was like, yeah,
you
for
not do
10
that?
minutes.
Were you not screaming? Were you just like,
No,
just no joy whatsoever on the Viking
Oh,
ship?
no, we
Just
were-
like
it was
back and
fun
forth?
at first. It was fun for the first couple
Viking
of minutes.
ship, yeah.
But after the first, like, after 5 minutes is when you're starting like,
you weren't
this
pulling out the
seems
taste.
unusual.
The taste great, less filling.
Ty felt sick on that one too. Maybe that's why they got rid of it. It wasn't set up right, and they just like fuck it.
it just gave
Maybe
us a
I-
headache. We had such a headache when we got
Yeah,
off.
exactly. I had to lie
Mhm.
down. I lied down on the bench after.
So that was it. But yeah, it's gone
Somebody
now.
just
I
got
think there's-
stabbed there.
Yes, I know. Yes. Oh my. Yes, I saw someone just got stabbed there. I sent you the article.
Yeah,
It was like 2 people that knew each other. It wasn't like some random stabbing.
that's usually
was
what
two-
it is.
Yeah, but but you read the comments on local Facebook groups,
I don't.
and oh,
Well, that's
don't.
because some of that probably is because of there's been like fights planned at amusement parks. Like
whatever
there-
that means.
Meet me
like
at the
there was
amusement
a
park.
day where it was like down at Busch Gardens, Tampa, is recently, like just a whole bunch of people organized and said we're gonna go to Busch Gardens, Tampa, and we're gonna fight, and they did that.
Like two
That's-
different groups or like a Royal Rumble?
Like I just a bunch of teenagers apparently is what it looked like.
Like meet at the go-karts and we'll throw down?
Yeah. So
Shit.
No place is safe.
I guess.
But they
I
weren't
don't know.
fighting. They were just fighting each other. Right? They weren't fighting
supposedly,
the
I
patrons
guess.
of the place.
I mean, I guess not.
Maybe they warmed up on the patrons. I don't know. I don't think I'm going back to Adventureland regardless of the stabbings. It's like,
No, my son's going on Friday.
it's kind of well. So what they replace the Viking ship with?
I'll ask him when he gets back on from going there on Friday. I don't know. I'm not going with him.
A knife store.
Yeah.
Kevlar vests.
Yeah.
All right. Is that it for our grand intro?
I think so.
Should we hype up LI Retro, which is coming up soon?
It is. What are the dates?
I don't know.
Oh,
Oh no, it's in August 11th or something. Let me see. I'll tell you right now. I know how to work a calendar. It's August 10th and 11th,
okay.
which is coming up. I don't know.
It's a month out.
Yeah. I don't know exactly what date that we're going to be on, but one of those days. And I'm looking at the list of other people that are coming. Tim Rogers is coming.
Cool.
Do you remember Tim Rogers? I'm going to
Remember
click.
Tim Rogers?
He's wearing a
Yeah.
tuxedo in his picture.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be fun. All right, it should be fun. Chip's
What a
coming.
good time. Yeah.
We're gonna.
I'll be there.
Wombat will be there. Half the new Wombat will be there.
Hmm.
Remember when you changed your Twitter name to New Wombat?
I did. It was all coming down to this.
You knew this was going to happen. You knew you were going to join Orange Theory. You knew there was going to be some weight loss drug.
I may hit 100 classes by then too. So we'll see.
Shit, let's go right into the show feedback, and you should go right to that Orange Theory feedback.
Okay, we'll go right to Foxhound. Adam has to say, I also I appreciate the weekly Orange Theory updates. I joined with my entire family a year ago, and I feel better than I have in years and ran my fastest mile in over 10 years. Cheapy was the one that got me interested a few years back. It's awesome to see Wombat getting into it and seeing great progress. Appreciate you all. Yep, still going.
I took Ty with me to a class this week. They have a promotion now that you can bring any friend or family member for 6 classes for free this month.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, anybody can do that if you're a member there. So I took him, and he did pretty good. I was surprised. Like, he was pulling over 200 watts on the rower, and his form wasn't that great. Like, I was on the rower next to him, annoying him with like form correction, but I thought that was like really good for somebody who doesn't have much rowing experience. And he was a little unsteady on the treadmill, having never been on a treadmill before. But he didn't run much less distance than I did, so he hung in there. But yeah, so that was cool. That was a lot of fun.